Yes, Judge.
And so our orders are right to be entered, and they are just memorializing what Your Honor entered into that minute order on July 29, 2025. And so if we could have those same orders just signed by Your Honor, we could have those filed at the same time, Mr. Serpic.
Objection on Mr. Serpic. Judge, the problem with their testimony is, first, when the transcript of the 29th July 2025 hearing was posted on November 4th, 2025, on November 17th, 2025, we objected and requested a settlement of the record. If you look at the record on 11/17, the only defendants that responded to the 11/17/2025 motion to settle the record was defendant Levine, Kyle, and Artis. And for months, Levine, Kyle, and Artis went back and forth with correcting and settling the 29th July 2025 record. And because of none of these defendants objected to the settlement of that record for 5 months, they are deemed confessed and admitted. Plaintiff has not filed a notice of admittance on that, but they have confessed by their absolute silence that these things had to be settled. Plaintiff. Plaintiff for Roman's fine, Judge.
Plaintiff. I told you in chambers that if you want to proceed with the motion to recuse, I wouldn't go with your motion. But I mean, you're wasting our time arguing at this point.
That's what I'm saying, Judge. I just want to lead right to this, that if that's a denied, I'm going to ask the clerk. I'm presenting I'm holding up right here formal move or recusal for disqualifications and notice of mandatory stay. I'd like to file this motion immediately so I'm not wasting any court's time and move to stay.
Before you do that, I'm going to go ahead and sign the orders that they presented.
Objection. I have not been presented with any orders, Judge.
Judge, by that same token,
objection.
We have our order prepared on the motion awarding fees, and we asked that right for hearing was filed August 29th, 2025, August 21st, 2025. I apologize. And by that same token, we asked the court to go ahead and grant that motion, right to be heard, and grant fees in the amount requested of $5,199.
Judge, objection. I filed my formal notice already into the record. That's already part of the record. This proceeding should stay until this recusal is figured out. And even if it was not, we'd have to follow the settlement hearing issue. The second thing to that was the Lazar motion. The third to that was the settling of the 29th July hearing.
I think Plaintiff's probably correct about that as far as fees are concerned. If you're just talking about the motions or the orders, I mean, the journal entering the orders that are signed and then have been vacated, if you want to represent those, something to that point, right?
And Judge,
yes.
Judge, while this is happening, I'm going to file this into the record.
Judge, I just want to be clear. We've not recessed this hearing, correct?
I'll be right back, Judge.
Yeah,
I'm going to file these into the record.
You can't leave for
Well, I'm already filing these into the record, Judge. I'd like these files sent, because if you're signing these...
No, well, we're still on the record. I'm going to go ahead and sign.
I object, Judge. I have not been presented with any orders that you're signing. Me not being presented with any orders, I can't object to what the information's on there. Judge, it would be inappropriate to have my formal move to recusal filed and then you sign those orders knowing that there's an objection.
Exactly.
Judge, the settlement has to be settled first that they've not objected to before you sign any order.
All right, thank you. I think we can leave that one.
And for the plaintiff, this is as exhibit 4 to our motion to settle the journal entry.
And I object, they can't settle she wasn't even an attorney in the case, Judge. I object that you're signing that. May that be the record, that these proceedings should be already stayed.
Is there anything else before I let them go file their pleading?
Judge, I would just like to make a record that this motion for recusal and these subsequent motions filed by the plaintiff regarding Lysor or all of this other stuff is the exact sort of behavior that the Supreme Court called plaintiff out for in their February 2nd, 2026 order, where these recusal requests are made with an intention to disrupt or delay lower court proceedings. Plaintiff is intentionally dragging this out in order to harass the defendant.
Jenny,
Thank you, Judge.
Judge, I object.
Judge, I'm finished. Thank you.
Judge, let me ask you, so did you sign orders before we even settled the journal entry? Is that what I'm understanding you just did? I just want to understand what you just did so I understand how to explain it.
You'll get copies of them.
No, but there shouldn't have been any signed orders today, Judge. The first thing that we all agreed...
They'll be part of the record, so there won't be any dispute about what it is.
Well, Judge, there shouldn't have been any orders signed. I didn't get proposal of any order, and the orders, it has to be under the correct caption. If you sign any orders with the disputed caption, it doesn't even apply to this case. The problem is, Judge, if you sign proposed orders that I didn't even get, that's already a problem.
Well, they're the same thing as what we signed before. And
they were error. Judge, if you look at it, their date is...
I can only do one at a time.
Judge, their date on... I apologize. Judge, their date for the Norwood, it's not even the correct date the hearing happened. It says 28th July on it. Judge, you just signed bogus orders. And their orders was grouped together for defendants that they didn't even represent. So, Judge, I'm just saying this was orally already entered, formal to move recusal, disqualification to the record. We can't proceed into signing orders. Even if we didn't go this route, we still had to settle the record, which I have proof of fraud committed by Norwood.
Make that up if the judge partially leaves me on the case.
No, Judge, but the orders, you couldn't sign the orders today until we had a settlement hearing regarding the transcript. Because then the problem is the transcript here again is incorrect. So we would have to again have a settlement hearing on the transcript. That's not correct again. Because you can't sign orders today when the hearing today was specifically for a settlement hearing. That's what the rule clearly says. The 29th July, you couldn't dismiss Webb and Marcy because they were still within their 20-day limit to respond. They were served before that hearing. I'm lifting up right here. I have evidence of greenbacks that were signed right here. I'm lifting up right here. Greenbacks that were signed right here by 88 Gina Webb, right here, that she received it 2 weeks prior to the 29th hearing. Right here, Angela Marcy, this is a greenback signed by the defendant herself 6 days prior to the hearing, right here. I'm bringing it up for the court reporter to see. Angela Marcy, 7/23/2025. So the fact that Norwood showed up on the 29th with Redmond and testified that they were served that day, is fraud, Judge.
Okay, well, we can say that for another day. You've raised this recusal motion again, so let's just partially sort that out.
Well, Judge, the orders, you can't sign orders until we figure the recusal
I
out.
understand your position, but that's what we did.
So I just want to make the record that I filed the formal recusal first, and then you signed the orders. Is that how it went today?
Objection. That mistakes the record.
Judge, I said formal move to recuse. I'd like to file this, and then you went and signed there, is what I witnessed.
It's not filed. It's not filed until it's actually filed.
Well, me orally stating I was about to file it and not being let out to file it is obstruction of filing.
Well, if you want to take that issue up again with the Supreme Court, I guess.
Judge, I move to strike these right now on the record. You couldn't sign any orders today. We were not here for that reason. We're not here for, and plus I didn't even get a single order that they had you sign today. The orders that they signed were under wrong captions. They were not properly titled.
I was just trying to make sure I had all the people straight.
So Judge,
I appreciate everyone coming and getting to meet you in person anyway.
So Judge, I just want to, while we're on the record, that you heard me say a formal move of recusal is going to be filed. I'd like to file it right now, and then you went to sign the proposed orders. I just want to make sure that chain of events is correct.
I think you've made your record, so we're adjourned for today.